are these people?
First story about Kilmar Abrego Garcia. And we've been talking about him for too long. Honestly, this case should be dismissed. He should be home with his family, and he shouldn't be worrying about this shit anymore. But he's got cases. He's doing all the right things. And the Trump administration is determined to persecute this guy. So I grabbed this almost 2 weeks ago, and this guy is still like back in jail now. And Arturo Dominguez from Decolonized Journalism, I actually became a paid subscriber of Decolonized Journalism. I really like what this guy does. I support independent media with my wallet as well as, on the show. And we've used enough of his articles, and I'm comfortable with who he is based on, how he is on notes and the people he goes live with and everything. That's the kind of person that I think we should be learning from. Plus, his coverage on Venezuela and on CCOT and on what's happening in the Latino community is invaluable. So, he puts out this article about a week and a half ago, debunking DHS's claims about Kilmar Abrego Garcia, that despite the courts slamming the administration for how poorly it's treated him, the White House continues to make false claims about this guy. Like, they have to lie about him because they have nothing. They genuinely have nothing. Everything is old. Everything has been debunked. Everything has been refuted. So he starts at considering how often Trump likes to sue people for saying things that aren't wholly positive about him or his administration. Their duplicity in blatantly making false claims about migrants and citizens alike cannot be overemphasized. It's a tactic. All right. There's no more obvious case of this than how far the admin is going to defame Kilmar Abrego Garcia, who fled El Salvador, fearing for his and his family's life when he was just a teenager. Again, reminder of his backstory that he came to the U.S. in 2011 at 16 years old after members of the Barrio 18 gang in El Salvador threatened to kill him and rape his sisters. That's real. He eventually settled in Maryland, where he lived with his brother for many years without any legal trouble. In 2019, however, he was arrested for loitering while outside of a Home Depot looking for work. Yeah, I've never heard of anybody doing that, a migrant or anything. It was then that a now disgraced police officer pointed him out as an MS-13 gang member. Now, he's not. When lawyers demanded to see the evidence against Garcia, they were informed that a police report was never filed and that the officer who made the claim has been suspended for leaking information to a local sex worker. Garcia never faced charges. Meanwhile, after many court hearings and appeals, an immigration judge ruled that he wasn't eligible for asylum. The judge also ruled that despite issuing a deportation order, Garcia could not be deported, right? So he's considered a stateless refugee because it's not safe for him to be sent back to his country of origin, El Salvador, and both the U.S. and international law protect him from being deported. One major issue here is that Garcia is no longer has the protection that comes with a pending case in immigration court, and the administration is attempting to find a so-called safe third country to send him to. And because the admin is cruel, they want to send him to Uganda. What was that? Uganda. They want to send this one guy to Uganda and not another country that the U.S. has safe third country agreements with, like Canada or Paraguay, where he would be safe. Even after he was detained, summarily deported, and incarcerated at CCOT in El Salvador, the admin has tried every trick it can muster and failed to have the courts rule in its favor. After being released from CCOT and later incarcerated and held for no valid reason, that was in Kentucky, the courts demanded that he be released based on the laws and afforded to him by the U.S. Constitution, even as a non-citizen, even as a refugee, even as an immigrant. That hasn't stopped the White House. On August 22nd, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, the dog shooter, condemned Garcia's release using the same inflammatory language, calling him an MS-13 gang member, human trafficker, wife beater, and child predator.
You've been gnomed.
Without citing any evidence or continuing to cite evidence that has been debunked or thrown out in court due to its frivolous nature. So, activist labeled judges have attempted to obstruct our law enforcement every step of the way in removing the worst of the worst illegal aliens from our country. Why would they want to step in to do that? Really? Mm-hmm. She doesn't, break that down on its surface. What elected or judge? First of all, that's a lawyer who either got elected or appointed.
Yeah.
But they've got a career. They're a judge. It's not like they're just a schnook working at fucking Home Depot. All right? Not that people at Home Depot were any less than anything, but this person went through schooling and qualifications and swore an oath to the Constitution on top of all of that, like she's allegedly did. Right? But for whatever reason, the judge is now obstructing law enforcement, removing the worst illegal aliens from our country. First of all, the whole language is disgusting and designed to inflame and get the old people very angry and the rabble. All right, that's exactly all it is, because they're not criminal illegal aliens. This guy wasn't criminal and he wasn't illegal. He just wasn't eligible for asylum. Her evidence lies again with debunked information, and she repeatedly continues to cite how a member of the Prince George's County Police Gang Unit validated him as an MS-13 gang member, while ignoring that his testimony was thrown out. She continues to cite the video that allegedly shows him as a human trafficker, but fails to acknowledge that making such a claim based on a dubious video doesn't equate to evidence or guilt. Attorneys question the credibility of people who provided the statements against him because they're facing a host of criminal charges and provided statements as part of a plea agreement. So they sold him out in order to get themselves a lesser charge. Noam also continues to use allegations as evidence of criminality, such as old and no longer valid restraining orders against him, while also alleging that, according to court filings, which not true, he solicited nude photographs of a minor. However, she only cited a New York Post article, again, which doesn't provide any evidence to support such a claim, but rather hearsay. This one was leaked by Pam Bondi, Attorney General. All right. Interestingly, the allegations are made by the so-called co-conspirators in the soliciting photos case, which Noam continues to cite publicly. I'm dropping frames. What the fuck? All right. Noam continues to cite publicly are not in the indictment.
Signal.
The allegations, the allegations made by the so-called co-conspirators in the soliciting photos case, which she continues to cite publicly, are not in the indictment against Garcia. And his wife slammed the White House for using the restraining orders against him, saying they're not a justification for ICE's action. They're not. This hasn't deterred the White House either. All right. On August 25th, Noam bragged about taking Garcia back into custody during an immigration check-in and said he'd be processed for removal to Uganda. The courts have so far prevented his deportation pending an evidentiary hearing, but it's unclear if that will hold. Quote, today I saw law enforcement arrested Kilmar Abrego Garcia and are processing him for deportation. President Trump is not going to allow this illegal alien, fuck off, all right, who's an MS-13 gang member, no he's not, a human trafficker, no he's not, serial domestic abuser, now she's tacking the word serial onto it, and child predator, also not true. Mm-hmm. They just threw every single, why not call him an anti-Zionist and a Palestinian and a Hamas member to terrorize American citizens any longer? Unbelievable. All right. All of it. Later on Monday, DHS came out swinging against any lawmakers who pointed out how far the White House is going to manufacture crimes to make Latino immigrants seem like hardened criminals. Noam and her staff continued to use the same accusations and allegations against Garcia without providing any evidence of these supposed crimes. Crimes that the courts have repeatedly said never occurred based on the scant evidence that they have provided. The far right and DHS have been hung up on calling him a Maryland man instead of their preferred hateful language of calling him an illegal alien. DHS also included in its press release a list of sanctuary politicians who continue to defend this known MS-13 gang member. Again, he throws out all the terms, again using the inflammatory language, baseless accusations that'll inevitably lead to lawmakers being targeted by extremists who support what the administration is doing despite the facts. Awesome. Garcia hasn't done anything wrong. Even if he did, like many other migrants who fell on the wrong side of the law and did their time, they paid their debt to society according to the laws of this country and the court system that upholds those laws. Additional punishment, especially being sent to third countries with poor human rights records, serves one purpose: intentional cruelty inflicted on Latinos and black people. So this is personal for Arturo, for sure. Whether you're an immigrant or not, the White House doesn't seem to care. And that's the thing, is that it just starts there. It doesn't end there. We all know this. That, again, was Arturo Dominguez, Decolonized Journalism. Sorry it was a little choppy. It's happening, obviously, to a lot more than just Kilmar Abrego Garcia.
I still don't get what their end goal for all this is. Like, yeah, it plays to your base, but, like, then what? You know?
Right.
Like, when it used to be, like, Trump tried to court those, like, groups of people. You know? Now he's like, fuck it, get out. We're deporting everybody. Like, that's what I don't get. It's just like just like a weird right-wing fucking, we're gonna deport you. Get out of our country. It's like, okay, you know.
He's given them what they've been asking for.
There's some other motive that I've not fucking figured out.
Well, this is the video that I saw today. Masked men disappear U.S. citizens in an unmarked van in Chicago for protesting ICE. Who are you? Where are you taking them? People cry out. You're kidnapping them. Agents attacked at least 3 protesters using batons, pinning them face down into concrete, according to witness Bianca Pais. ICE later confirmed that it was their agents who detained the protesters, claiming they were impeding federal operations. All 3 individuals were finally released without charges in downtown Chicago. So if they were impeding federal operations, wouldn't they have been charged with something? Here's the video.
Something? No, you're charged with impeding. This is not a charge.
You are required to tell me, where are you taking them? Where are you taking them?
Fucking punch that gangly ass FBI agent in his dick.
Where are you taking them? Civilians with destiny without identifying yourself as a police officer. You are kidnapping them. Tell us where.
Look at that, picking them up off their feet and loading them into a fucking van.
Tell us where you are taking
Black
them.
van.
You cannot do this. Tell us where.
Wow.
Where are you?
I mean, you're not really helping, seriously, like the way you're yelling like that. It does not make you sound
it's something.
any less unhinged, but I get it.
No, fuck that.
And that's happening all over the country right now, not just in Chicago. It's happened in D.C. We've seen it. That happened to Ramasio Ozturk, basically. It happened to Mahmoud Khalil in the middle of the night. And it's been happening more and more often. So that's fucked up. We certainly don't get love from the YouTube algorithm for that. So if you're able to and a means, please support the media you want to see. The easiest ways to do that are Cash App, that goes right to my phone, $ Indie News Network. Then we've got ko-fi.com/Indie News Network. We got paypal.me/Indie News Network. We got indienewsnow.com. That's our website. We're live right there right now on the live page. But there's also a ton of news that isn't just our stuff. And then we've got the Substacks at INNnewsletter.com and IndieMediaToday.com. Support independent media because we need it more than ever. I love you all and see you soon, everyone. Have a good night.
Mwah. Ciao, baby.
We go party.
No! We just fucking lost the stream!
I think I liked it better being blind, when I couldn't read between the lines, and when I couldn't see the cracks in the structure that lay bare before me the whole time. I think I liked it better back when I suspended disbelief and swallowed pride. I thought I knew the difference in the red from the blue, but they both bleed us so dry. They both bleed us so dry.
My favorite songs don't hit the same way. I get to the end of a 4-minute track and I'm only looking back thinking, what did they actually say?
I guess this isn't such an awful place. Is that what you want?